Hey guys, so should you buy the iPhone 11 or 12 in 2022 considering the current pricing and some of the major differences that really matter in practical terms? So let's find out all of that in this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like this video guys. Let's begin. So looking at them side by side, the 11 feels actually slightly bigger in terms of overall footprint. Despite having the same size display, you can see the dimensions here. But the major difference is the rounded edges versus the flat boxy design on the iPhone 12. I kind of like the iPhone 12 design, and also when you hold it, the 12 feels a little more grippy and compact. Otherwise, both of them have similar design like glass on the back and aluminum build, etc. But yes, the 12 has that ceramic shield glass on the front. Also because of the OLED screen, the 12 actually has a slimmer chin along with the border running around it, whereas the 11 actually has slightly thicker profile, as you can see, and the overall screen to body ratio is also slightly better on the 12. But really, in more practical terms, most people use a case and a tempered glass, so none of this really matters whether it is the slimmer bezels or that compact design. All of this is sort of written off just because of these things. Another major difference is the display. On paper you see a lot of difference, but let's look at it in a more practical way. So first up, looking at the screen, it's not warmer. The white balance is quite neutral, I would say, compared to what I've seen on the 10R, which almost had a sort of yellowish tint. So here they both seem to be quite decent and comparable, but the outdoor visibility is not that great. On a good sunny day, it's really hard to make out what's on the screen, both on the iPhone 11 or the 12, as both of them have the same amount of brightness in terms of nits. So you don't have any real advantage here on the iPhone 12. Yes, we cannot deny a couple of things, like the 12 has the OLED versus the LCD, so you get those deeper blacks and popping colors. But if you normally play a YouTube video, the difference may not be all that huge, except if you use the Netflix high-end plan that supports the Dolby Vision or the HDR, then it can really make that difference. But sadly, when I played the Prime Video, this was capped at like HD, as you can see here. I'm not even sure if this is full HD, but with all these limitations, most of these features are limited to just the paper. But one thing that I really like about the 12 is it has that higher pixel density. I mean, it has that full HD display versus the 720p display on the 11. And when you open any apps where you have a lot of images and text or browsing, this is where you actually see that the 12 stands out in terms of sharpness. So definitely the 12 has an advantage over here. Another great feature on the iPhone 12 that we cannot still enjoy is the 5G. I mean, the 11 simply doesn't have it, so the 12 has that future proofing. So if you rely heavily on the mobile data, then you may need to consider the 12 for that 5G, which may come in the future, so it's up to you. Another difference that you shouldn't really worry much about is the processor, A13 versus A14. And here both of them perform pretty much similar. As you can see here, I'm trying to open some apps. I mean, there is no meaningful difference in terms of performance for day-to-day tasks, but we might see slightly better performance on the 12 with the future updates going further with iOS 17, 18, etc. Now moving to another important thing is the camera, and here I really don't think it's a huge upgrade going from 11 to 12 in terms of camera, apart from some minor differences. Like you can also see on the spec page, apart from the aperture values, it could result in slightly brighter pictures on the 12, but really let me show you some pictures and you guys can decide. Take a couple of moments and try and guess which one is which. There you have the answer. Let's try and do another one. There you go. So what I'm trying to say is the 12 obviously has a slightly improved camera, but it's not to the point that you just go and upgrade to the 12 over the 11 just for that camera. Now talking about the battery life, sadly the 12 has a decreased battery size compared to the 11, probably because of the new design. Otherwise the 12 would have been great, but still it is slightly better compared to the 11, but essentially both of them can get you a day's worth of battery life. Now finally, moving to the pricing, I would say this: if the price difference between these two is under 8,000 rupees, I would say go for the 12. But if the price difference is about 10 to 15,000, you can still get the 11 and save that extra money. Also, if you can wait till this year end, the 11 may be available for about 32 to 35k, considering that the 10R was available for about the same price last year, and since the 10R is discontinued, the 11 would take that place. And also the 12 could be around 40k, under 45,000. So I hope you found this video helpful. I didn't really mention some minor things like MagSafe compatibility on the 12 or the Face ID with masks, stuff like those software features, but I just focused on the major things. So anyway, that's been it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.